Hello and welcome to the Often Partisan video podcast, recorded on Tuesday 7th of June. Today has been one busy day. I want to set the scene for you. I kind of crashed out last night. I working that, tired. So I wake up at 6 o'clock this morning to about 15 messages, 3 missed calls, a bunch of direct messages and whatnot, a bunch of tweets. What's going on with Birmingham International Holdings? There was an announcement made while I was asleep, around midnight our time, that Birmingham International Holdings are making restructuring proposals that would go before EGM, that would basically see the end of Carson and the beginning of TTA. 61 pages of this stuff. So there I am, bleary-eyed, trying to read through it. And I can imagine that everyone else is kind of the same, you know. I'm not an accountant, I'm not a lawyer. And it was some heavy going jargon. Anyway, purpose of this video is to explain as best as I can what it's about. And to be honest with you, what I want you to take away from this is that all the time it's been I've said it's a complex deal, there's a lot to be sorted out, and this is why Ernst & Young are involved, and this proved it. They had to jump through hoops that you would not believe to get to a point where there's going to be a meeting, and at the end of it, Carson will be walking away, Carson's brother-in-law will be walking away, and Paul Shun, Trillion Trophy Asia, will walk in as not only the new chairman of the board or whatever his title will be, but the new majority, not major, majority shareholder. See, this is the thing. They had to please not only the stock exchange, but they had to do something in such a way whereby Carson walked away, whereby all his concert parties walked away, whereby Trillion Trophy Asia would take control, and at the same time, all the little minority shareholders, who are the people the stock exchange actually do care about, because they're the ones who buy and sell the shares and make the shares go up and down in price realistically, they had to have a fair stab at the cake as well. So you've got all these people that had to be sorted out, and that meant all these little agreements, all these things that had to be done to get to a point where it's gone, this is it, this is what we're going to do. This is why it took so long, and why it won't be finished till October, because there's still quite a bit to be done. Now, if you've read the announcement, you'll see it requires approval from the regulatory authorities in Hong Kong, the Grand Court of the Cayman Islands. Don't forget, Birmingham International Holdings is a Cayman Island company, and also needs shareholder approval. However, as onerous as all that sounds, I don't actually think it'll be a problem. I think they won't have got this far without agreeing it with the stock exchange. They won't have got this far without agreeing it in the Cayman Islands. It's just a shareholder approval bit, and I think that will happen quite easily too. So it's not a case of if, it's a case of when. So I've got a few questions by email. I wanted to address some of these now. One of the big ones is Panos. A lot of people are going, well, what about Panos? Is Panos going to stick around? Panos says, no, he's got it. Should have a statue built to her. I don't know about the statue bit. From what I know of him, seems a decent guy. I'd go for a beer with him. I couldn't tell you exactly what he's had to do with it, but what Panos has done is something that I've always said is important, and it's important with TTA going forwards. There has to be someone representing the owners here in Birmingham, or someone who's a figurehead where the buck stops. It's really important, and Panos has done that. He stepped up to the plate, and he's shown his face in the media, he's answered questions, he's tweeted things. Yes, okay, sometimes it's just little pithy tweets, or little bits of sarcasm aimed at our friends from across the expressway. Fair enough, but he's there and we can see him. For that reason and that reason alone, I'm 99% confident he'll still be there come October 28th. TTA know that they need someone like that there. What we know of TTA is that they're secretive, private people, and I can't see Paul Shun, who's never been photographed by the media ever, suddenly stepping into the limelight going, hey guys, I'm going to build a theme park. No, we're not going down that route. Daniel Su, who there is one photo of online, taken in 15 years, it's exactly the same. These people are businessmen. They make their living buying companies that are distressed, bringing them up to speed, profitable, selling them on. They're good at it. Now, in the announcement, it does say that Paul Shun has he agrees not to sell the club within 2 years, and B, that he has no plans to back any other business into BIH. So it means that it's going to continue being a football club for the next 2 years. Which is interesting, because I didn't think he'd do that. But maybe he's had to make some kind of commitment for the Football League's purposes, that he's not just going to flip it. I don't know. Which comes to the next question. People said, well, what about the owners and directors test? Yes, Paul Cho-hung will have to take the owners and directors test. If he's going to be 60% owner of Birmingham International Holdings, he will be, by extension, 60% holder of Birmingham City, therefore he has to take the test. Anyone who becomes a director of Birmingham International Holdings will have to take the test. Now, as far as I know, it shouldn't be a problem. I've not heard of anything that would stop it. The owners and directors test and say, well, does he watch the club? Does he have a crap ton of money, like a Scrooge McDuck that he dives into a Saturday morning? No. What it asks is, A, do they have the money to buy the club? B, can they prove where they got it from? Which kind of come about as the Carson thing. Do they have any convictions that we should know about, like Chelino? Have you ever been bankrupted? Because of course you don't want someone who's run a club into the ground buying another one. Paul Cho-hung is fine on all those counts. So there we go. Is this beginning of the end? The end of the beginning. It's the beginning of the end now. What I think, I was on Midlands today earlier, and I said, is this exciting? Are people excited because Carson's going, or excited because new owners are coming on? I was like, well, no. I can only speak for myself here, but I knew Carson was going. I knew someone else was coming in. What I didn't know was when. Now we know when. Now we know how. And I look at our friends across the expressway are going to get bought out by Dr. Tony Shea, genius, billionaire investor, etc., etc., etc. And it seems a bit woolly. There's no real detail as to what's going to happen, how it's going to happen. Whereas this, we can see who's going to buy the club, when it's, that's what the holding company I should say, when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen, what hoops need to be jumped through. And I kind of like that. I like the certainty of it. I like the fact that people say, well, when should we hear about the EGM? June 22nd. When will the EGM happen? July 29th. When will the shares be listed? October 27th. It's just, I love that. Because of course if things don't happen then, you can turn around and start saying, well, what's going on here? What are we waiting for? Which again is good for us. We've now got benchmarks, we now know what to look for. So there you go, reasons to be positive. Yes, it's going to happen after the transfer window. Yes, the 10 million promised will not materialise this transfer window, I believe. Way it goes. There'll be money there. There's always going to be money there. But just imagine, we have the same kind of start to the season that we had last year. We're doing fairly well, 8th, 9th, maybe 6th, 7th. And then we've got 10 million to spend in the January window. A man can dream, can't he? If you have any questions, please email me, almajira@oftenpartisan.co.uk. If you want to follow me on Twitter, my handle on there is often_partisan. I'm on Facebook as facebook.com/oftenpartisan. If you want to know anything about Paul Cho-hung, Daniel Sue, I've written loads of stuff about it in the past. Just search it on Often Partisan. There's a little search bar in the top right corner. If you want to read why Carson got into the mess he got into, I wrote a book about that called Haircuts and League Ups. If you've not read it, please do. Till next time, keep right on.